Indonesia Gaming Arena. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat bergabung kembali di podcastnya Indonesia Gaming Arena. Ya, kalau minggu kemarin udah ketemu sama gue juga, ya. Cuma minggu kemarin ada Grace dan juga ada Gary Eka as a host lagi, as a guest. Nah, hari ini ya spesial banget. Gue tampil bersama rekan host gue yang bahasa Inggrisnya jago abis, men. Ya kan, makanya gue bawa dia ke sini karena kita bakalan ngobrol juga sama teman kita yang bahasa Inggrisnya jago banget karena dia nggak tinggal di Indonesia. Kita import di podcast Indonesia Gaming Arena khusus untuk hari ini ngobrolin tentang perkembangan industri esports di Malaysia dan juga mungkin a little bit di Singapura. Oke, ini kenalin dulu host teman gue yang satu ini. Kenalan dong.
Halo semua, nama gue Abi. Udah berkecimpung cukup lama juga di dunia e-sport. Ya kita kembalikan lagi ke Mas Bayu.
Loh, gitu doang toh?
Itu doang.
Oh,
nanti
gitu
makin lama juga makin kenal kok.
Oh gitu ya, iya. Teman-teman, gue juga lupa tadi ngingetin ya. Gue Bayu yang bakal nemenin lo dan kita bakalan menyambut nih teman-teman ya, guest yang paling ditunggu-tunggu, yang kemarin sempat bekerja sama juga dengan Indonesia Gaming Arena buat event yang cukup lumayan besar ya, yang sempat lu tonton juga ya kan. Please welcome, ini ada Mr. Kuan from Malaysia.
Hello everyone. Hi. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah. We are so glad to have you here now.
Thank you.
Nah, teman-teman, kita bakalan mulai ya, dan seperti biasa, lo yang nonton nonton kita di YouTube juga boleh nanya-nanya via komen, dan juga yang nonton di IGA Podcast juga boleh nanya via komen. Alright. So, first of all, kita pengen tahu dulu nih profilnya Mr. Kuan. Mr. Kuan, can you tell us who you are or your profile maybe in the esports industry?
All right, sure.
Yeah.
As you know, my name is Kuan Sin. I am part of the esport industry in Malaysia. I've been in the industry officially for 5 years, but I think I've been a fan of it for longer than that. I first started in esports in esport education actually. I started a Esport Academy, first in Malaysia. This was back in I think 3 years ago, and after that I moved on to join GeekFam, the GeekFam team and Geek Events, where I became the event manager. We managed a lot of events, which are tournaments all across Malaysia, and more, I guess you could say, internationally. Yeah. So right now I'm not in anymore, but I still have ties in the Malaysian industry, esports. Yeah.
Okay, but you're still active as an esports practitioner, right?
I'm still very active right now.
Yeah, okay.
You can never leave esport.
Oh yeah. Same. Yeah, because most of us that already get into the esports cannot leave it.
It's our life.
Yeah, same like IB. Yeah.
Yeah.
IB, gue panggil lu IB aja.
Beda-beda.
Abi, iya. Abi, gimana?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Kuan Sin. You can never leave the esports scene. You can either be a professional player, or you can or eventually you can just play games. You know, because well, as gamers, there's you can't take away games from gamers, right?
Yeah, but I also interested in your profile, Juan, because you already said that you started a Malaysia Esports Academy.
Yes.
Yeah. One question from me: why you want to start the Esports Academy in Malaysia? Because some people in Indonesia just know about esports is just playing games, being a player, being a manager, building a team. But why you want to grow or build your own esports academy in Malaysia?
Sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I grew up with esports. I grew up watching tournaments. I grew up gaming myself. I grew up with my friends being competitive players as well. That's why they came. It wasn't my idea to begin with. Actually, it was an idea from a friend, and he came to us, me and another friend of ours. He said, "I want to start an esport academy because I think that a lot of people in Malaysia have the same dream as I have, professional, to be part of this industry. So, but it's very hard to get into the industry. You need a lot of connections and so on and so forth." So he said, "I want to start an esport academy so that everybody has the opportunity to join esports, whether it's competitive gaming, whether it's event management." That was the dream of our esport academy. We wanted to do this for every esport fan in Malaysia. So that's why we started. So that was the reason why.
I'm curious, how far did you take your esports academy? Did you get acknowledged by the Ministry of Education in Malaysia back then?
Yeah. So now that I'm looking back, it's quite a long story. I guess initially when we started, we were nobody's. We had a dream. We wanted to do something with our dream. So somehow, some way, we started the academy. We partnered up with a body, not a government body, but somewhere in between, between private and public. They were Iskandar Investment Berhad. So they were a big name, investment name in Johor, which is close to Singapore, in Malaysia still. They wanted to start this whole thing with us. So we partnered with them. We started the Esport Academy in Iskandar, which is a location in Johor. So how far did we go? It went to the point that newspapers were in news, and we also were visited by the Ministry of Education. Sheikh Sadeh at the time, he was part of the Ministry of Education, so he visited our location, official, I wouldn't say officialized us, but it was recognized to a certain extent. He came, visited us twice. The first time being recognized the academy, the second time to actually recognize Iskandar's first tournament, official big tournament. Yeah. So whether or not how far did we go? Yes, we were sort of acknowledged by the national body. But to me, ultimately, what was most important was that our students got best out of the learning experience for them. So I think we accomplished what we wanted to do, but there was only so far that we could take it that moved our ambitions elsewhere in the
Right. That's very, very impressive.
It feels like it wasn't very long ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago. We actually this I wish that we would continue it soon, but we'll see after this pandemic and whatnot.
Oh, so the academy is put on hold for now.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's hope for the best then.
Yeah. We'll see.
Lanjut dong, Bi.
Sorry.
But
Gua
I really like your generosity about your hope, your dreams to grow the esports industry in Malaysia. But is it difficult to start an academy in esports?
Yes, very much.
Very much.
I think it's difficult in the sense that people at the time, Esports Academy it was a topic that everybody knew that was being thrown around. Everybody thought about it, but nobody actually did anything about it. So you could say that we were literally the first esport academy in Malaysia, which is very tough because of one recognition also. Everybody will always ask what's the recognition by the national body, but at the same time also to build confidence in the students to be able to do what you ask them to do, in the sense that you can become a professional, be a event organizer. So building that program wasn't easy for us. It took us some time to actually build up the program that we were confident to say, okay, we are confident that we can allow these students to be taught these subjects, and it will benefit in their future. I mean, there are other things as well to start the academy, such as like capital and whatnot, but that's why we try to partner with the best parties that we could. Thank God they gave us as much support as they could up to the very end. So yes, it's definitely hard, but if I believe that if we didn't have that strong belief in us to do it, we wouldn't be able to do it. And we managed to start it. Hopefully we can continue our legacy. So but that's another story.
Nah, tuh teman-teman di Indonesia Gaming Arena udah denger sendiri ya kan. Sebenarnya kalau di Indonesia juga ya kan ada teman-teman yang tertarik untuk bikin Esports Academy gitu kan, demi perkembangan pertumbuhan esports, why not gitu. Karena Mr. Kuan juga itu memulai dengan hal yang tidak mudah, tapi tidak mustahil. Ya nggak, Bi?
Betul sekali.
Iya dong,
Iya,
harus.
ini juga kita sebagai gamer juga harus membuktikan kalau yang namanya main game itu nggak selamanya negatif ya, selama bisa
Betul.
dikontrol ya kan, selama kita bisa tahu
Mhm.
diri. Ya itulah yang sedang kita perjuangkan toh.
Ya, sama dengan playing game with responsible, right?
Right, exactly.
Iya. Nah, kalau tadi ya, you said that this pandemic really affect many things, many industries in Malaysia, include esports.
Yep.
So, how much the impact from this pandemic to the esports itself in Malaysia?
I think in terms of the pandemic that has hit, the simplest answer, I guess, is it's hit very heavily to teams and event organizers. The easiest to answer right now, event organizers previously, when you do an event, you want it to be a LAN event, right? Everybody wants to go to a tournament. All the fans, all the players want to watch the game, big screen, cheer with their heroes and whatnot. But now you can't do that. Right now, there's no government will let you do that. You have to do it online. So doing it online, it's a different challenge. You can't do what you did previously. You can't have gatherings. You can't have certain things. So a lot of ways you have to change your team management, as in your production team, how you organize with the players and whatnot. And professional teams like GeekFam, like whether I think it's RQ, EVOS, I'm sure everybody experienced the same thing, that you can't have. It's not as easy to move around. It's not as easy to have all your players in one location and whatnot. Somehow you still try to get it done, but it hits very heavily for smaller teams that you don't really hear of, but they're still trying to make their way into esports. Those teams are hit by this, that they have no resource, they have no ability to whether get permit from the government.
Right.
These kind of things, it doesn't happen in small organizations. So I think in terms of growth in Malaysia, at least, it's going to be a while until we see like new things coming up. A lot of the old organizations will still try to hang in there, but new teams will have a lot of challenge ahead during this.
Yeah, I agree with that, because in Indonesia also we suffer more, especially in esports, right? Abi.
Yes. There's an opinion that a lot of people think that esports nowadays, especially in the pandemic, the growth in the esports industry is substantially higher than previous years, due to everything having to be online. What do you think? What do you think of that? Does it apply to Malaysia and Singapore and Indonesia specifically?
Okay, I mean, it's an interesting question. I would say that esports is a very general term. Like, if you tell someone how's the sports industry doing, it's like which sport? Basketball, football, right? Esports, there are a lot of things. I just mentioned event management and team ownership, but there are other things that do not require this kind of heavy organization. So I think the biggest benefit right now, especially with everything being online, is content. Content is king right now. So if you are, let's say, a streamer, streamers are you don't have a heavy. It's not like you have a heavy team or cameraman, director, producer. You just have one guy streaming, right? And if he can give the best content for everybody to enjoy, then it's like you have minimum costs, you have maximum output, and you have high demand. Whatever you're doing, whatever entertainment you're doing. So then, yes, it benefits a lot to those that are like streamers, that are very small team or no team at all, just an individual just putting out content. Whether it's you're a YouTuber, you're a streamer, these things are still related to esports. So yes, there is still growth in esport, but I think it's very much based on individual. And if companies are able to churn out content without sacrificing too much of their existing growth.
Right.
Event organizing, you still can do tournaments. People are still viewership is going to skyrocket like nobody's business right now. But it's whether or not you can pull off the event with your current team. Because let's say if your country really goes into full lockdown, how can you gather all of your production team together to actually even do the event? If you can't do the event, you don't get any benefit out of it. So it really depends on which segment of esports we're talking about. So in terms of content online, yes, there's a lot of growth there. If you can make it happen, that's all.
Yeah, I guess it's the same pretty much everywhere. Yeah, like you said, content is king, but from the competitive scene, it's pretty much stagnating, I think. Even though major tournaments like ESL, let's say, are they see a substantial bump in their viewership, right?
Yeah. I mean, take for example, let's say EVOS RRQ. You see YouTube channels, they always have videos with the teams, right?
Right.
So the players recording the video, right?
Yeah.
A videographer is going around videographing them, but some teams they have their videographer living with the team, some they don't. So these kind of small little things, it affects the operations actually. So then do you have to make the decision? Do you tell your players, oh, you're the videographer now, or you have your videographer staying with them, right? These are the small little things that make whether you can survive the pandemic. Yeah, I think people really need to realize what they need to do to actually survive the pandemic and capitalize on content right now.
Right.
Maybe we can tell that anyone who will survive in esports from the pandemic is they who can raise their adaptability with the pandemic, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It will be an easy answer to say that, oh, big teams will survive. Yeah, EVOS, RRQ, all these teams will continue to survive the pandemic. But I think if your team is small enough and you are able to navigate your way to actually produce content, very good content, you definitely not only survive, you will definitely thrive in this ecosystem. It's possible. It's entirely possible. It's not all bad. It's still possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Besides the pandemic situation, before the pandemic, how is the growth of the esports industry in Malaysia? Because we all know some major esports company all over the world targeted Indonesia as one of their business development, this business expansion. And what about in Malaysia?
Okay, I think in terms of Malaysia, the growth before the pandemic, I think, was quite high. In the sense that, to me, two things stand out for Malaysian esports at the time, at least. Right, before the pandemic, mobile gaming, like most of Southeast Asia, mobile gaming has been becoming bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
Malaysia was no different also. Malaysia also had a lot of mobile gamers, a lot of mobile gaming related things, whether it's content, whether it's tournament, whether it's players, teams, all that. Growth was still there. And I think a lot of people were interested in that market. So that's why you will see, Moontoon put a lot of focus on developing Southeast Asia tournaments and whatnot. So most Southeast Asian country, Malaysia was going pretty well with growth in viewership in terms of mobile gaming. I can't say the same for PC gaming, but I think it's similar for all across Southeast Asia. Everybody's having the same thing. So I think also we saw quite a few teams from outside of Southeast Asia come in. The time when you had Team Secret coming to Malaysia, they started their PUBG mobile team, similar to a lot of other countries, right? So I think it's like very well developed because of Malaysia. It kept on. The other thing that I would say was a very positive thing for Malaysian esport was government support. During my time, in my academy time, when we were still in the Esport Academy, a lot of support was given from the government to push esport as a big initiative in Malaysia. And that wasn't stopping at all. Even with the change in government and whatnot, there was still a lot of support for esports. And I would say it's still a lot now, but it has slowed down quite a bit, I would say. So, yeah, it was actually very high. In terms of esports, I think everybody was holding hands. They were saying, okay, esports is a big thing. We want it to be a big thing. Let's go. Our players are doing well internationally. Let's make it a big thing in Malaysia then. So, yeah, I think it was very good. So, unfortunate that the pandemic came, but I mean, everybody is also hit the same problems right now. So
all over the world.
All the world.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do think that a lot of these things will continue to go on. Maybe not as quickly as the growth used to be. It used to skyrocket, but right now I think it's still going up, but at a very steady pace. So, yeah, I think growth has been relatively good before the pandemic.
Okay. Abi?
I'd like to get back to you now. I mean, tell us what kind of games do you play? I mean, what kind of games do you play right now?
Right now, I would say I'm pretty big on Apex right now.
Apex Legends, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Apex
Apex.
Legends. Yeah,
Wow.
Apex Legends. I see that out of all of the Battle Royale, Apex has been the most trendy Battle Royale right now, but we'll see in the next few months. So right now, Apex, the other game I'm playing is Dota. So as you can tell, I'm not really a big mobile gaming person.
Right.
Yeah, but I think most of our age group we're more used to PC gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are the two. So,
most of us older gamers stick to PC gaming.
yeah.
We're too old to figure out how to work cell phones.
Yeah. I can't. My fingers are.
Yeah, because playing on cell phone is too small for me.
Yeah.
Too small.
Yeah, my fingers are like sausage, like sausage.
So
sausage. I can't play on mobile.
I tried to dive into the mobile gaming since years ago, but I still can't do it. And now I still gaming on Dota, on CS:GO, GTA Online, something like that lah.
Yeah. I think most of us have tried to. All of us have our phones, right? We can play it. It's just that we don't really want to play it. I've tried Mobile Legends. I've tried this Wild Rift before. It doesn't work for me. It just doesn't work.
Wah, berarti same like us lah.
Yeah, we're too old already.
Yeah, it really doesn't work for us.
Yeah, it's enjoyable to watch people playing, but it's a whole different experience playing the game itself, right?
Yeah, of course. At the end of the day, you play what you like, right?
Right.
Exactly. It's not that we don't like the mobile gaming. It's just that we prefer playing PC.
Yeah.
Mobile right now is so big.
Even though we have to work for the mobile gaming tournament. We have to admit it, right?
Yeah,
we work for the mobile gaming,
Yeah.
but we play on PC game.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think about an esports team should do if they have reached to the top pool, or maybe top winners in their regions, or maybe in the world. Or what do you think they should do?
Okay. The easy answer I think would be keep winning. I think that would be the best. At the end of the day, nobody is satisfied with just one championship, two championship. Everybody wants more, right? So it's not only about winning the same game over, it's also winning other games also. You have to expand your right now a lot. If you look at most of the big teams across the world, everybody is in different games. Like you can't just say, oh, I'm just playing CSGO, just playing Dota. You can't do that if you're a big company. You have to say that, oh, we are competitive in every game. For example, like let's say if you're a company, I know FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan is a United States company,
Right.
but they have a PUBG Mobile team in Thailand. Like there's no relation at all.
Yeah.
They have to be in the thick of things. So everybody needs to be competitive in every game, and not only every game. You have to be competitive in a lot of aspects in esports also. Everybody's trying to get their streamers for the team. Their partnership with their sponsors, that's important as well. A lot of these things affect your ability to function as a professional team. You see right now a lot of teams are getting their sponsors in terms of cryptocurrency sponsors and whatnot. I foresee cryptocurrency being a very important thing in esports foundation soon. So that's why you see things like TSM having FTX as their partner, right? Uniswap partnering with Team Secret, if not mistaken. So these things will play an important part, especially now with the pandemic. This will make this somehow it will be part of esports, but yeah, these are the things that an esport team should look out for. You need to build their brand.
See, this is a clear sign that I'm getting old. I wanted to ask you something, but somehow it slipped my mind and I forgot what I wanted to ask.
It's fine. We all have those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, I have to keep all my plans in the schedule. Otherwise, and I can't afford a secretary. I have to manage my life
Yes, of
myself.
course.
Oh yeah. So basically, what you're saying is teams or maybe individuals who are playing competitively, they should play for the sake of playing, right, and not for the sake of winning. Because if you're playing for the sake of winning, once you win, then there's nothing else to do. Is that
Yeah.
right?
I mean, at the end of the day, it really depends on each person's
Goals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like we're looking at if we're talking about an esport team, right? Esport team as an organization. At the end of the day, it's a company. Company always want to win. They want not only win, but they also want to show that we have a lot of fans, we have a lot of this, a lot of right. So I mean, just take it like you either have a lot of fans, you have a lot of trophies, all that. But as a player, every player has their own one, and like you see players that they win it one time and they're happy with it, they are just gone forever, right?
Yeah.
Some players they want to be competitive, but at the end they feel, oh, I just like streaming a lot, so I think I'll just go stream and what. I think that's why that is actually very good to me in esports that is comparative to sports, is that players have a lot of avenues that they can go into later on. They don't have in football it's like, okay, I player, then later I maybe become a manager or become a coach, right? But I think in esports you can be a streamer, you can be a coach, you can start businesses. It's endless for esport player. Or maybe you don't even go into esport. I think because esports, it depends on how long you invest your time into. But let's say like a player like Dota Anna, he's basically just done with esports. He just wants to pursue other things, which is entirely possible because he still has so much of his life ahead of him.
Right.
That's one benefit of you being an esport player when you're very young, because you still have the rest of your your 20s to pursue other things. Myself, for professional sport, not really the case. You are trying to be good, you have to invest quite a bit of time until you're very late or Chinese, then
Mhm.
what do I do? That is the benefit of a player. Be very flexible. But yeah, everybody's goal is different. But ultimately, ultimate goal for esport team is always try to win. Try to win, try to be very like a very popular team, same like any other organization.
Mhm. Right. Jadi gimana, Bay? Kita kayaknya ada
Ya.
sesuatu yang ada sesuatu yang mau kita bagi-bagikan ke teman-teman yang nonton ya?
Oh pasti dong, seperti biasa ya kan. Mr. Kwan, we're gonna take time a few minutes to announce that our viewers
Mhm.
can win some cash from Indonesia Gaming
Nice,
Arena
nice.
for giving questions for us. Ya,
Mhm.
jadi buat teman-teman
Mhm.
yang pengen ngedapetin nih cash ya dari Indonesia Gaming Arena Podcast, bisa put komen ya kan, mau di IGA Podcast, Discord atau di YouTube. Nanti akan kita bacain dan akan dipilih seperti biasa ada 3 orang pemenang ya, Bi, ya?
Betul,
Yang akan
ada 3
mendapatkan
orang.
hadiah dari Indonesia Gaming Arena yang akan dipilih 1 oleh saya, 1 oleh Abi, dan 1 oleh Mr. Kwan.
Right.
Before we go to the questions nih,
Mhm.
Mr. Kwan, during this pandemic, do you have any message to esports survivor? Maybe players, maybe company, maybe streamers or anything. Do you have any message for them?
Mentions as in what I want to say to them.
Yeah. What do you
Uh,
want to say to them to survive this pandemic?
I think the best thing I can say is hang in there.
Mhm.
Don't give up. Keep doing what you want to do, what you love to do, and yeah, you have to have the passion to continue to do what you want to do. If you don't have the passion, it's very hard to survive right now, I think. So keep strong, stay strong, and keep going. That's the best advice I can give to everybody.
Okay, thank you so much for the message. We all hope that this pandemic will be over
Yeah.
very soon.
Very true. That's what we
Yeah,
all hope for.
Hopefully.
because we all really miss gaming gigs, right?
Mm.
I really miss to watch the tournament live directly in the event spot. Wow, I really miss
Yeah,
the moment.
yeah. I really would love to attend the LAN tournament again.
Yeah,
That
and
would be
and see the girls.
the cosplayer, all the cosplayers.
Okay, we will read some questions. Abi, udah ada belum ya yang udah masuk di YouTube atau di podcast?
Di YouTube sebentar, di YouTube masih belum ada, di Discord let's see.
Oh oke, ini ada di Discord 1 nih.
Oke.
Mau lu apa gue yang baca nih?
Boleh gue yang baca. Okay,
Boleh.
so there's a question from one of our users.
Mm.
They're asking, what do you think about young esport pro players? Some of them even quit school to pursue their dream in esports. I want to know your opinion about that. And should they have balance in school and career, and how to achieve that balance?
Okay. I think yes, you should continue. I think a lot of smart esport players have always backed up in line. School is definitely an important thing you should always look at. I think a lot of pro players right now, maybe in the last few years, pro players were okay. At school, we just go all in, right? But I think now if you see a lot in the US, a lot of people are actually doing half and half, going professional, and also they want to finish their schooling at the end of the day. And I've seen a lot of these things happen in Malaysia also. That you should continue schooling, at least at the very least have a minimum education level so that you can pursue things later on, because esport is not something forever that you will be participating in. But how to strike the balance? I think at the end of the day, you have to have a very strict schedule of what you want to do. You can't, at the end of the day, you can't train 24/7. You want to
Right.
be a professional player, you can't train 24/7. I've learned that already. You have to have a downtime, do something else, and what better to put your focus on education. You have to split time. You have a schedule. Say that, all right, from this time to this time, I'm going to do this, and then from this time to this time, this. There's no better way to do this. It's very helpful. So that is the ultimate answer, I would say.
There is one question that I'd like to ask though. When you did you focus only on the on the event side of esports, or did you dive into the team management also?
Okay, sure. I think both. I would say both. Event management, I already described my role in event management, but I guess you could say my role in the profession, in the organization, is a bit vague because mainly I handle a lot of things. In general, is to make sure that things run, things go.
Right.
Because there is like I'm sort of the bridge between our founder and our operational team, right? Whether or not what's going on, how's the training going, are they getting what they need to be at the top level, right? So
Right.
all these things, I essentially streamline the communication, making sure that everybody is doing what they need to do. Because at the end of the day, we have our team managers managing our players and whatnot. But if the team manager has some problems and he doesn't know how to bring it up to upper management, then I would work it out with him. So essentially, and this, it doesn't only focus on just the professional team. Also, it's about content on social media as well. All these things, I mean, it is one of the biggest thing for esport team to have social media, right? So ensure that the channels are still hygienic, updated content that people like and whatnot. So I would say I was quite involved with GeekFam as a whole.
Okay. My next question still has something to do with the question that our viewer asked concerning. I'm sure you've seen a few of your players experiencing burnouts, right?
Yeah.
They could you give some insight as to why that happens and how to how to solve the problems like these?
Sure. At the end of the day, I can give my experience in terms of the players that I've worked with, that I've worked together with. I think a lot of the burnout is not only that, because we do say, all right, you don't have to train the whole day. There is a certain goal to reach, and we try to work with the players how to reach their goal. Because at the end of the day, I think the burnout comes not just from being a player, but also that a lot of players right now are trying to get their streaming career going. Right? Some of the big players that I've worked with are Zon, Fig. All these two, they're earning a lot from their streaming right now. So everybody wants to be like them, right? They want to be like their hero. So they put a lot of time in streaming. They put a lot of time in training. It's a lot of things that they need to juggle around. So at the end of the day, we tell them, okay, you have to pace yourself, because some people, they just, right, I say, I have to stream this number of hours in a month. I'm going to put a lot of my streaming hours in the last few days and not care about it in the first few days of the month. So you're not balancing your day correctly. So what we try to do is we tell them, look, you have to balance your schedule properly. Go do something else, not just streaming, not just gaming, not just eating, sleeping. You have to have some other hobbies. Go work out a little bit. It clears your mind. It makes you more ready for the day. So the burnout doesn't happen so heavily for them. At the end of the day, I don't think they're overworked. I just think that they're not properly scheduling their own mental state, physical state to be ready for the challenges, basically. and it shows. It shows in when you're in tournaments. Oh, they're so stressed, they're so tired. You have to balance your daily schedule out, and we help them with that. But it's
Okay.
just whether or not they follow the instruction. Because look, a lot of these players are very young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very hard for them to see the reasoning. Even if you tell them that it's good, why it's good, they're still gonna say, "Oh, I don't think it's good. I think my way is better." But they still burn. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, some players, because maybe they're because of their young age, they put too much pressure on themselves.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna jump
Let's
into our next questions, but we're gonna invite him to ask by himself to you, Kuan. Is
Okay,
it okay, right?
Sure.
Oke, kita bakalan panggil ini ada Naren ya. Kita invite buat langsung ngobrol. Nanyain pertanyaannya langsung ke Kuan. Nah, kapan lagi lo bisa nanya sama Kuan nih? Karena Kuan lagi sibuk buat event selanjutnya. Jadi buat teman-teman di Indonesia Gaming Arena pengen tahu event apa selanjutnya, ya kalian harus tetap nge-subscribe ya dan nge-follow any information yang datang dari Indonesia Gaming Arena. Jadi follow di YouTube-nya, follow di Instagram ya. Dan juga bisa follow Kuan maybe nanti Instagramnya apa ya kan. Kita pengen tahu dia lagi di mana, bikin apa. Nah, oke, kita buka voice ya buat Naren. Naren, are you ready? Naren,
Yep.
halo.
Hello.
Oke. Boleh, mangga langsung nanya sama Kuan.
Okay. Hello, Kuan Sin. How are you?
I'm good.
I don't think if you remember me from the last job we've ever do together.
I
don't know.
don't remember. I still remember you.
It's good.
Okay, so it's good then. So one quick question from me, because this is really bugging my mind since last month, I think. So as we all know that esports scenes, especially in Southeast Asia, really favors the mobile industry, right? Like let's say the PUBG, the Mobile Legends, etc. How would you think going forward? What do you think is the next big thing for us in esports scene? Like example is like VR esports or anything that you really have in your mind in this Southeast Asia region, and how big do you think it will be here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Future trends, I guess you could say. In terms of, I have two consideration for this question. The
Okay.
first consideration is, has the mobile era really ended also? In the sense that I think there is still some space for more mobile games to come in, because I think that during PC there were a lot of wars between different games like Dota and League of Legends,
Yeah.
CS:GO, or PUBG with Fortnite. I think right now, in terms of mobile games, at least in Southeast Asia, PUBG Mobile and Mobile Legend have not been challenged in terms of who is the dominant mobile game. So I think there are still some chance for more mobile games to come in. So I don't think that this mobile era will end anytime soon. Even if, let's say, VR becomes popular and it wouldn't end mobile games competitiveness in Southeast Asia anytime soon. I think give it like maybe another 5 years, then we might see something new coming. So then the question is, what is the new thing that will come in? I think you need to take into consideration of what were the games that, like mobile games, why did they become popular, right? They become popular because it's available for everybody to play. Not everybody has a PC, but everybody has a phone.
Yes.
To some extent, you have a phone that you can play games that are not so heavy on your phone, right? So that's why it became so popular. So whether it will be VR, the answer I don't think is yes. I don't think it's yes. It's definitely a no for me, because the investment to have a VR setup is so expensive. To own, let's say, VR goggles, your console, or whatever,
Yeah.
it's going to be very expensive. But I think it will still be on mobile phones, but not in the way that it's going to be a traditional mobile game. For me, what I foresee will be cryptocurrency being something that will play into esport games in the future, where gaming will not just be you play games and then you earn nice little skins. Then all right, that's the end of it. I foresee that in the next few years, maybe even starting right now, actually, that you will have a lot of cryptocurrency games that people can play and then they can earn money out of the games. At some
Okay.
point, these games will be competitive also. So whether or not it's on your PC, whether on your phone, category or what console it is doesn't matter actually. What matters is that it's something within this space for cryptocurrency. Because if you believe that you can earn money on a daily basis from playing a game, I think everybody wants to do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very appealing to most people. So yeah, I foresee it to be a big thing in the next few years. But
Yeah.
mobile gaming will still be a big thing. The next 5 years, we'll see. We'll see.
Yep. I do think I agree with you because mobile game is somewhat currently new. I think it's only like 3-4 years, I think,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. But who knows, in the next 5 years, VR setup will become more affordable for us. So, and who knows that there are maybe a competitive game that actually we can jump into the esports scene
Yeah.
and play and watch whatever the esports scene is currently like now.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the one thing actually that I just thought about was that you've seen a lot of PC games that they say, oh, we're going to come out with a mobile game, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's Fortnite mobile, I mean that exists already, but
Yeah.
but consider that maybe if a mobile game goes the other way, they become a PC game instead. Because you need to think about right now, a lot of the mobile gamers are very young, but they will grow older. They will grow older. They will start earning money.
Yeah.
So what happens when a young like these teens or young adults they have money, they start being able to invest into more games. So suddenly maybe like those people that played mobile games, suddenly they can start playing PC games also.
Okay, so they
So
convert to PC gamer.
yeah, so then suddenly maybe you will see more PC gamers because they grow older. The young kids that used to play mobile games, they grow. So it can be possible in the next few years, but we'll see.
Yeah. I agree with you though, that. All right. Thank you for your time and
you.
for the great answers. And I think stay safe for you, stay healthy in this
You too.
pandemic, man. Thank you.
Oke, thank you Naren.
Yeah,
Wah,
thank you
Thank
waktunya.
you.
yes, what a very brilliant question. Answered well too by Mr. Kuan. Dan last question maybe Abi, ya. Ini ada yang nanya di YouTube, bener gak Abi?
Tanya di YouTube, oke, dari sekedarnya di YouTube.
Ya, sekedarnya nih, cocok nih.
Bagaimana pertanyaan? So we have a question from one of our YouTube viewers on YouTube. How is the growth of the esports scene and how is the growth
Women.
of the women's esports scene in Malaysia and Singapore, and which is financially more appealing to gamers in Singapore and Malaysia, to be a streamer or content creator maybe, or a pro player?
Okay, so 2 questions.
Yeah.
First question about the girl gamer one.
Yes.
Very interesting question to me because this question was actually it was one of those questions that a lot of people were asking about before the pandemic came. It was part of when Malaysia was starting to have a lot of growth in esport. Everybody said, okay, what can we grow? Can we have more female gamers? Can we have esport academy? Whatever. In terms of the female gamer part, I think it has been because of mobile gaming. I think there are more female gamers now compared to last time. I remember very distinctly when Mobile Legend was just introduced, was just starting. I saw a lot of 5 girls sitting at let's say a mama or a restaurant. They were just playing on their phone, playing Mobile Legend. So I think in terms of right now there have been a lot more female players in Malaysia, mostly because of mobile games, I would say. So that's a good thing. Whether or not it's still 50-50 with female and male, no. I think the female number has raised from maybe like 10% to 15 or 20%. But overall, yeah, I think it's a growth. It's definitely still something that can continue to go on. And so we'll see. I feel like the way to go about it is to have guy and girl mixing together. I'm not so interested in girl tournament and guy tournament kind of thing, but it's hard to tell. It's very hard. It's the same with Singapore also. I think Singapore and Malaysia are very similar in terms of these kind of things. So that's for the first question.
Okay.
For the second question, whether to be a streamer or a pro player, very tough question actually. I feel like it's very similar to both of them. Both career they require the same amount of effort. People think that you need to put a lot of time into being a professional player training, not, but you actually have to put a lot of time into being a streamer also.
Right.
To be consistent, to be the mental. Even though the mental of a professional player, you need to have a lot of mental strength. But as a streamer, when you're a new streamer, you have one viewer in the chat and whatnot, you're going to be very sad. You're going to be talking to yourself a lot. You need a lot of mental strength. So I think both are very hard in terms of trying to do something to start your career. Financially, I think both are also very tough. But I do think that professional gaming has some chance for you to earn financially, but only because there are more. It depends on the number of tournaments. If you have a lot of tournaments, you can win the smaller tournaments and you start growing your reputation, your potential. I think both are very hard. Both are very hard. Financially, I give it a little bit to the pro player side, but both are similarly difficult. You need to have strength to continue to be whether it's a pro player or a streamer. Yeah. I would advise you go pro player first, then become a streamer rather than streamer then pro player. Yeah. It's easier.
I just want to ask about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very easy, right? If you are a pro player, everybody likes you, they sure will watch your stream already, right? Rather than
But Mr. Kuan, but I want to ask you related to this question, yeah. If you can change your destiny, which one would you choose? Being a streamer or a pro player?
Streamer.
What if streamer? Why?
Okay, streamer. I think let's just say I want to be successful. Right? I want to be a successful player, or I want to be a successful streamer.
Streamer, yeah.
To me, streamer being successful in streaming is much better than being successful in pro player because you have more options in your future. There are a lot more things that you can do as a streamer compared to being a player. I think once you hit it already, you need to be able to handle social media. That's the most important thing. People will say they'll be negative to you. There'll be haters everywhere. But the benefits of being a streamer is much better compared to because at the end of the day, a player, what his future can become. Not every pro player can become a streamer because their ability is different. Which is the same also for streamer. But being a streamer, there's a lot more benefits to it, in my opinion. And in the future, you can jump to other industries a lot easier also. Whether you become a singer, become a TV host or whatnot. Because you train your ability in all these, being able to talk to a lot of people. These are very good skills. Compared to being a professional gamer, it's very hard to use these skills later on for other jobs, let's say. So streamer definitely.
Okay.
I mean, if you hear the amount of money streamers earn, you also will be a streamer. Like just in Southeast Asia alone, hear some of the how much streamers earn, yeah, definitely you want to be a streamer.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for the questions. Kita akan pilih ya pemenang, the winners 3 orang tadi. Sebenarnya nggak perlu dipilih kali ya, kita sebutin aja karena emang udah pas 3 pertanyaan ya, Bi ya? Bener nggak, Bi?
3 atau 4 pertanyaan tadi sebentar.
Coba.
Ada Naren, ada Kevin, iya pas 3 pertanyaan benar.
Pas 3 ya.
Pas 3 pertanyaan.
Karena memang waktunya kita juga pas ya. We are already running out of time di IGA Podcast. Jadi kita nggak perlu pilih. Kita akan mengumumkan bahwa 3 orang penanya tadi itu berhak untuk mendapatkan berapa, Bi? Hadiahnya kasih kok gue lupa.
Hadiahnya 50.000 per
ya?
orang. Iya, betul.
Betul, berupa saldo di digital payment ya.
Digital payment
Baik itu di GoPay, Dana atau OVO. Nanti akan ada tim dari Indonesia Gaming Arena yang akan menghubungi kalian, minta nomor handphone mungkin atau account-nya, akan langsung ditransfer di digital payment account kalian yang tadi udah nanya. Oke, jadi selamat buat sekedarnya, selamat buat Naren ya. Dan congratulations juga tadi buat Kevin yang sudah nanya di Indonesia Gaming Arena Podcast tentang perkembangan esports industry di Malaysia dan Singapura dan juga sekitar Southeast Asia sih sebenarnya. Karena memang karena ini udah digital ya, jadi udah nggak bisa dikotak-kotakin juga, Bi ya. Udah mulai tipis-tipis nih gitu. Nah, conclusion before we close, mungkin Abi pengen ngasih sedikit gambaran resensi conclusion dari obrolan kita malam ini bersama Mr. Kuan Sin Leong.
Sebelum before we go to the conclusion, I think we still have time for one more question, right?
Boleh.
Okay. I'm sure you'd agree that the esports scene spurs an ample amount of business opportunities, right? In your opinion, what kind of businesses are there currently in the scene besides, let's say, streaming or the obvious ones like streaming and tournament organizing?
Quite broad question, I would say. Right now, it's hard to say actually. There are a lot of opportunities available. To me, esport has a lot more synergy with a lot of businesses compared to regular sport. Some of the things that I guess maybe we haven't done compared to let's say a sporting event is maybe something that is, I don't know, like having a real we don't have a lot of players. But then again, this is something I think is very tough to answer because it's businesses, they start depending on what is the trend.
Right.
In terms of the trending right now, like I think I've mentioned quite a few actually, it is cryptocurrency. It's the most direct way of esports having a business. What the business is, it really depends. I think you will see a lot of traditional jobs such as marketing, I would say trading, that kind of thing involving with esports, with currency. I think this is the benefit of esport compared to traditional sport. I see that a lot of people are actually, like for example, I would say in terms of there is this new crypto game that I would say is called XE. I don't know how popular it is right now in in Indonesia, but in Philippines it's actually a big topic right now because you have people that they live in like not so very well developed places in Philippines, but they're able to make a living just by playing the game. So because of this suddenly shoots out a lot of different businesses that you can do, such as like, okay, the game you are able to earn money because you are able to sell your creatures or your eggs. And so suddenly these are very weird concepts to talk about. But basically, if you play Pokemon, you know you can breed 2 Pokemon together and then they come out an egg. And then right? So imagine that you can sell that egg for actual money. Like that is something that suddenly you can become like a breeder, right? Your
Right.
business is suddenly breeding. You're just
Yeah.
mass breeding
Yeah. Digital
things.
Yeah.
breeding.
Yeah, digital breeding, right.
So these are like things that you would never have in normal things, right? Like you could literally say that I know that companies are starting out groups of people just playing the game, and everybody is pulling in money from the game itself. Everybody's so what kind of business could you say this is? It's basically like selling NFTs, selling games, selling creatures, Pokemons or whatever to people. These are things that you would never hear from any other business. So I think it presents a lot of interesting opportunities, I think, cryptocurrency. So where esports come in is when things are being competitive. I think at the end of the day, people are still interested to see games being played and who are the best in that game. So that presents an opportunity by itself. But with it, there comes a lot of interesting things that you can do with cryptocurrency game. So that's what I think that be a future for esports or esports related things in businesses. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that would be it. Because a lot of the traditional esport teaching, esport coaching, all these things are being done, but I don't think they're done well. I
Right.
can't say they haven't been done before because they have. It's just that it's not a very livable career, I would say. So everybody's still testing things in the traditional job aspect of esports, but not everything is making the same. It's not making money basically.
Right.
So people need to figure out ways of how to make this sustainable, affordable thing. But a lot of these questions, I think, at the end of the day, it's very hard for esports people to push these traditional things with pandemic situation right now, unless it's something that is suddenly it's very popular, so everybody just gets into it. I said about currency thing. So yeah, I would say it's things relating to cryptocurrency. Beyond that, everything else it's not worth your time and effort in this pandemic. Everybody needs to focus on things that are more important, which is taking care of your family. So
Yeah.
that time for exploring comes when pandemic is over. Everybody can do whatever they want. Everybody has growth in their company. Then yes, we can start exploring businesses that usually are not related to esports. But
Right.
if not, that's why kind of like very giving an answer here, there, everywhere. But it's very hard to describe businesses in esports.
Okay. Thank you very much for the answer. So,
Ya,
apa?
udah nyampe di conclusion.
Udah nyampe di conclusion, udah sampai di
Iya.
kesimpulan kita.
Menarik banget bahasan kita malam ini sama Mr. Kuan ya. Jadi menambah lagi ya kan sources tentang esports yang mungkin tadinya udah ada tapi jadinya bertambah gitu. Jadi lebih makin kaya gitu Bi. Buat
Betul
teman-teman juga.
sekali.
Jadi jangan cuma tahu bahwa esports tuh it's all about being a pro player doang ya kan, atau cuma jadi manajer doang, building tim doang gitu. Tapi banyak banget gitu. Lu bisa jadi event manajemennya, lu bisa jadi streaming service-nya, lu bisa jadi apapun yang lu mau. Karena tadi juga Kon bilang banyak banget opportunity di bidang esports yang bisa lo jabanin tuh, ya
Betul,
kan?
termasuk marketing,
Iya.
copywriting, jadi penulis sekalipun.
Yes, semuanya. Bahkan jadi host-nya aja bisa ya kan.
Betul
Mau
sekali.
jadi commentator juga bisa. Lu mau
Iya.
jadi apapun bisa. Banyak banget sebenarnya. Jadi ini yang sebenarnya bikin gue juga secara pribadi nih, Bi. Itu curious banget, pengen bisa nyampein ke teman-teman penggila esports di Indonesia bahwa esports bukan cuma ngobrol tentang pro player, manajemen, ya kan, tim dan lain-lain, tapi masih banyak hal yang bisa lo explore juga.
Iya.
Gitu.
Di
Dan
belakang meja itu
perkembangan,
masih banyak kesempatan yang bisa diambil.
yes, betul banget. Dan terbuka sangat lebar, ya kan. Kuan juga tadi udah nyampein bahwa perkembangan industrinya sebelum pandemik itu highly rising. selama pandemik aja masih bisa racing walaupun memang nggak sesignifikan sebelum pandemi. Right, Mr. Kuan?
Yep, exactly.
Exactly. Jadi jangan khawatir teman-teman yang mungkin pengen joining di esports industry. It's really okay kalau lo pengen gabung di sini. Nah, ada tambahan kesimpulan nggak nih, Bi?
Kayaknya sih udah cukup sampai situ. Sudah
Udah cukup ya?
apa yang lo omongin tadi udah mencakup semua yang kita bahas tadi.
Oke, it's okay kalau begitu. Dan akhirnya ya teman-teman, Indonesia Gaming Arena Podcast harus pamit dulu. Kita ketemu lagi ya minggu depan di Indonesia Gaming Arena Podcast. Thank you so much for Mr. Kuan.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you.
Ya. We are all waiting for you to come to Indonesia for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I can't wait. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah, let this pandemic over and we are waiting for you soon.
Can't wait to explore beautiful
Yes.
country.
We will invite you to visit planet Bekasi ya. Bekasi planet ya, tuh.
Okay.
Thank you Mr. Kuan. We will see you again in any moments ya.
Buat teman-teman Indonesia Gaming Arena jangan lupa like and subscribe minggu depan.
Betul
Jangan
sekali.
lupa tune in di waktu yang sama, jam yang sama, di jam yang sama, hari yang sama. Ada bintang tamu yang gak kalah serunya sama
Siapa
sekarang.
coba? Siapa, Bi?
Teman-teman udah ya kalian juga pasti udah tahu ya, udah kenal dong yang namanya Melondoto. Luar biasa sekali.
Yes. Yeah, Melondoto is one of a professional caster in Indonesia.
Yes, I know. Very popular.
Yeah.
Even Kuan Sin knows him.
Yes.
That'll be very interesting. Alright.
Yeah. Next week Indonesia Gaming Arena Podcast will have him as our guest.
Alright.
Yeah. Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Kuan. Thank you, Abi, yang udah nemenin di Indonesia Gaming Arena Podcast.
Thank you, Bayu. Thank you, Mr. Kuan.
Yes, dan gue, Bayu Munggaran harus pamit. Ada siapa?
Ada Abi.
Ada Abi dan juga Mr. Kuan Sim. Will meet you in any good moment next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe di Indonesia Gaming Arena Podcast. Bye-bye.